I'm Maddie.
I'm Amber. And we're Witches Talking Tarot.
We are the weirdos in this one.
Like a song, like a sailor snubble. Flip the switch and let the cauldron bubble. Sam.
Wow.
Hey everyone, I'm Maddie.
And I'm Amber.
And we're
Witches Talking Tarot.
And we're back for season 4.
Season 4.
I can't believe it.
I know.
I can't.
Like, not that I didn't
Wait,
have
have we
faith in
been
us.
doing this for 4 years?
Well, by the end of season 4, it will be in our 4th year.
Okay.
Yeah, because like
That's fucking crazy.
season 1 went from we launched in January of was it 21 or 22? I think 22.
22, I had my child, so 21.
Okay.
Okay.
So we launched in January of 21.
Mm-hmm.
And then we
went
either way, like that season ended early because that was when we decided, because you were having your child.
Yeah.
We were like, okay, well, this one ends, we'll take a break.
And
then we just were like, oh, well, we can make it a new season when we come back.
Mhm.
And so now that we have full seasons, our seasons typically run September through July.
Okay.
And then we take off all of July and August for the most part.
But yeah.
Except for maybe we upload a video, an episode or two, but usually they're recorded in June still.
Okay. Okay.
That's kind of how it's been.
So almost 4 years.
Yeah.
Almost 4 years of Witches Talking Tarot.
Fucking
Wow.
crazy, yeah.
When we get to our 5th anniversary, we need to do something.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely.
We've got to do something.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Because I mean, yeah.
look,
That's
silver
yeah.
dollar thing. Like 5. Roller coaster
Right?
5.
I
Like-
what, I won't lie. Like shows like we'll go ahead and do our patrons on Patreon. Death by DVD.
Hey Melissa
Hey Victoria.
and Pam.
If you want to join them, patreon.com/Witches Talking Tarot. But the point is, Death by DVD has been a show for like 15 years. And I would be like screaming about like, bitch, I'm still in the game.
Right.
Like he's so humble. He does not do that. And I would absolutely fucking do that if it was me. Like humble is only my name sometimes.
So we're starting
which is a really great way to lead
Right.
into the episode.
Right. So we're starting this season off strong with conspiracies and the Catholic Church.
Sorry.
There are so many. Like, okay, so
There's so many. We probably won't hit them all.
oh, definitely.
So
not.
the whole things where you can comment. Let us know. We can always come back and revisit for things we missed.
It could be a part 1 and part 2 at some point.
Right, because like I'm gonna say that we're gonna start off. This episode's gonna at least center on the things that interest us. The most that we found out.
So I do want to mention the time machine one because, like, I don't fucking get that. That does not make sense.
Okay, you say that, but here, hold on. Let me. Okay, because Maddie and I happen to both be looking at the same article. And in that, it says that the Catholic Church has a time machine that's believed to have been built by an Italian scientist and priest, Father Pellegrino Maria Ernetti, the chronovisor. And it's a device that apparently allows people to view the future and the past.
So
here's
it's
why
really like
I
a
believe
time machine where you can go to and from.
But it is a time machine where you can control world events, like the Catholic Church tends to do
For centuries.
So it's like, do I believe? I don't think so. But at the same time, like, although if they could see the scandal, maybe they would have, I don't know, like let priests marry instead of diddle kids. But I'm just saying.
So here's my thought process.
Hindsight's 20/20, but with that machine, hindsight is future sight. You know what I'm saying? Like you could have fucking corrected that
With
if you wanted.
there being a time machine or a thing that allows you to view it makes more sense to me with it being the Catholic Church that it would be given to them either by a divine or an alien as opposed to being created by a scientist.
But he's a priest. He was a Catholic priest who was in the Vatican.
When he did it?
It did not say.
See, because I'm like,
okay, but we can look up his name because we have his name.
Yeah,
Father
because I'm like,
Pellegrino Maria Ernetti. Okay.
if this is a modern thing, which would make sense as to why they didn't stop the thing with, I don't know. Do I think such items could exist? Yes. Do I think that it does exist in the Catholic Church as a giant secret? Oh my God, I don't know. I don't.
Okay, so he was born in 25 and died in 94. So he's in the prime era for trying to make a time machine as a scientist preacher. But also, if you are Catholic, then you do believe that you have connection with the divine. As a priest, they have the ability to speak for God in their belief. So one could argue. I'm not necessarily, I'm just devil's advocate.
Right.
You know, that's kind of funny. So we're talking about the Catholic Church.
Yeah.
but God could have been like, all right, time is right. You guys have like all the tools that this guy needs to make this machine. So in his dreams or somehow, and I didn't think to look into, you know, his creation of that machine or if there's any writings about that, but you know, he could have definitely had connection with God, and it could be a machine that was created by God through the hand of man, because that would be very Catholic. You know what I'm saying? Like that in and of itself would be the most Catholic way to make a time machine that I can think of. I don't know. I'm not arguing because I don't know that I believe it. Because, but then, like, when I think about the fact that the Catholic Church do kind of rule shit in this whole world, not just like Vatican City and Rome, but they run the whole fucking world in ways. So it's like,
and have for centuries.
Yeah. So could they have a time machine where they went back and they rewrote history? So they're the guys in charge. You know what I mean?
Well, part of me, well, again, it would be just to allow them to view, so they wouldn't be able to.
Well, but if you can view the future or you can view the past, maybe you can have. Because here's another conspiracy that will tie in with the discussion.
I need a Doctor Who episode of this conspiracy theory. It's
well, because the Vatican is said to have this whole underground that's full of, you know, relics and magical things, right? So like, okay, this guy builds the viewer. This portal allows you to go wherever you want to go, but you got to know where you're going to go before you step through the portal or something.
It is this conspiracy right here is one that I truly don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I and my immediate thought was, ha ha, that's funny. And then I thought about it and I was like, huh.
I know. I
that's
can't
funny.
say whether or not I believe it or not. But what I can say I believe is the Vatican holds the largest pornography collection in the world. I do believe that. But what is your definition of pornography?
Right, because
the
definition of pornography would be like probably profane imagery, which I'm sure the Catholic Church believes a lot of things to do with the human body.
Right. I mean, you've got naked statues that are not necessarily sexual.
Right. No, they just show the human form.
Exactly. Yeah. So I guess technically, I think they do have the largest collection of pornography, but would I label half of it pornography? Probably not. No. I mean, and some of it could be educational books.
Well, also, like, I'm sorry, historical pornography is funny as shit. And that is historical artifacts. So, like, it's not even like porno like you find on XTube or what the fuck ever.
Well, and
I don't really know. I'm sorry if I said the wrong thing. I truly have no idea.
You know what? Pornography, whatever. A lot of it is also art from different cultures. You know what I mean? Goddesses are beautiful. LOL. But I was specifically referencing.
I know you were, but I'm just saying they probably have hentai too.
I'm sure they do. But like,
because that was a free anime thing. Look into the history
where women had big breasts and their legs were spread, and you see their vulva.
Well,
but they're birthing a child. Like,
but there's also like, I mean, there's like, there's also you say that at there's like paintings that depict, you know, the debauchery of hell, but it's a woman who's spread eagle getting eaten out.
I actually love that painting.
I do too.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
No,
what was it called? Like The Unsatisfied or something?
I don't.
And she's in the middle of a threesome and she's making out with a guy and there's some woman eating her out. And she was called, I believe it's called The Unsatisfied. And I love the comments on that because everybody's like, she looked like she's doing fine.
Maybe it's him who's unsatisfied. He's just getting a kiss.
right? Like she's having a good old time,
Right.
but like,
She is being pleased.
yeah, like so. Well,
I
and
think
also
he
just
is
women.
the name of the baby. Like, I'm just saying.
I didn't see it that way until you said that, but now I'm like, oh, that makes a lot more sense. Like,
I love it. I think it's a great piece of art, but
mhm.
I could see the Catholic Church would call that pornography.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, but then it's like certain things are not considered pornography with them, which is what's confusing. Like they've got naked angels, naked
Right.
baby angels, naked
Cherubs,
women.
right.
Well, they got naked.
Cherubim and
Yeah, and they're
probably,
mothers.
I mean, the mother nursing the
Right,
baby, right? Like, because some people might say that's profane. Like, some Christians might be like, that is profane.
right,
But if it's Mother Mary, it's not profane.
right,
you know?
exactly. But if it's a goddess doing it with her child, well, then that's
yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Even though it's
that's profaning the faith or something.
Mhm.
There's a term they would use.
and you know what? If you really think about it, I'm not trying to get all weird but like ancient art of naked women and men, really, it's beautiful.
It's beautiful,
It's
but
beautiful.
to me, because this also like is part of one of the conspiracies I truly believe about the Catholic Church, but to me, it's like they call these things profane
Mhm.
because really what's profane is these clothes. Like when did Adam and Eve cover up with the leaves, you know, so that their nakedness wouldn't be shown, because now they have shame
Mhm.
because they, you know, they did the wrong thing
Mhm.
and ate the apple of knowledge. But really, like, the profanity is the clothing that, you know, that's what made humanity fall from grace, right? Was
Mhm.
covering our shame, right? But now the church calls it our shame.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, but that's a purposeful mixed message. Like, truly a purposeful mixed message, because I truly believe
Mhm.
that the Catholic Church is against humanity.
Well, I'm not trying to be weird, but like for example, like breasts, okay,
Mhm.
are
Breasts are fucking
they're
great.
gorgeous. They're
It
not
doesn't
even
matter
just,
what size,
not even
shape,
just
anything.
yeah.
Breasts are amazing.
And it's like I don't know if it's an evolutionary thing or whatever, but like when you see it in art or whatever, everybody's eyes just zero in.
Oh yeah,
And it's not even
when I'm
that-
walking past another lady who has like
a nice ass rack, but it's not
or a
even
nice
like
ass, you know. Yeah, like
it's
I
not
can't
even
help it.
necessarily sexual.
Yeah,
you know
no,
what I mean?
it just draws my eye because probably from a biological standpoint,
Mhm, mhm.
like my reptile brain, my monkey brain, my
Mhm.
whatever pre developing into what we are as humans now
Mhm.
brain, that brain's like, oh, that person is a good caretaker. That
Mhm.
person can care for young, because biologically, if
Mhm.
you have fat stores, if you have wide hips, you
Mhm.
can give birth without dying, and you can take care of your young without
Mhm.
dying.
Right.
And that's really important because our young are born before
Mhm.
they're able to take care of themselves.
Mhm. Well,
You
and
know,
there's even,
whereas
like,
most young come out and start walking, you know.
well, and it's like some cultures even like they would literally like worship breasts, but not sexually, and they thought it was fucking weird that
To
Europeans
sexualize
thought it was
breasts.
sexual.
Yeah.
But anyway, I
No,
think the
because
whole
breasts are life-giving.
yes, exactly.
It's like sexualizing the sun.
exactly. So I think
Apollo.
long
Sorry,
story short, I
that
do
is a
think that they
sexualization of
have
the
the largest quote unquote pornography,
yeah.
but I don't necessarily think
think
it's pornography.
I'm with
Exactly.
you.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's and I mean, like, some of these conspiracy theories are not theories. They are conspiracies that the church conspired to do this thing, and it's
Yes.
actual fact. It doesn't make it not a conspiracy, right?
Mhm.
Because to be a conspiracy, the thing was people conspired.
Yeah.
They conspired to take all the
Mhm.
pornography and hide it away from people so people couldn't see it.
Right.
They conspired to steal from the Holocaust victims
Mhm.
because
Yeah, no,
they
did.
entered into a fucking scam, a life insurance scam, where they would take the benefits of the life insurance of the dead Jewish families.
Mhm.
And because like somehow legally their involvement, like, they got to keep that money even though these people were murdered.
Well, I'm pretty sure that I read it's been proven that Smittler,
He
was
sent them
paying
vast
them
amount of money.
He was,
he was
paying
sending them money.
Yes, he was
So
getting
much
a
money.
church tax.
Right, which also, because of laws, the church got to keep.
Mhm. Yeah, and they didn't have to prove it was sent from him.
Right.
Mhm.
But and
It was.
that was hush money, that was bribe money, because then when everything went down and D-Day happened and Hitler lost and he himself and all that with poor Ava Braun. Well, I say poor Ava Braun, but she chose to be with him. So never mind. There are some sympathies I don't have, and that maybe is one. Anywho, all those guys that went over to South America, the church got them. The church moved them there, and you can call that a conspiracy, but it's not. Even the church came out and said, "Oh, it's because we want to make sure we can secure Catholicism in these parts of the world."
Have you seen Shutter? You haven't really seen Shutter.
I have. I've seen it so many times, but it's such a. I have a really hard time keeping up with the plot of Shutter Island because of the way I watch things and the way that movie moves.
Yeah,
and the way I remember
there's
things.
no specific timeline,
right? And the way I remember things, that movie gets jumbled in my head, even more jumbled than it is presented on screen.
I believe so if I get you. It's a very good one. I want to read the book. I really do.
There's a book.
Oh yeah, it was a book at first. And Leo did fantastic. But I
could probably understand the book better.
Oh yeah, I want to read the book. Actually, I may look and see if it's on Shutter. Yeah. Oh, because you're
gonna have some time to read.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, damn. But I know that I think it's Shutter Island. It's gotta be. It's a Leo movie. Flashbacks, World War II, right? And it goes to like.
Okay.
Yeah. Was it Hitler? Somebody shot themselves and they didn't kill themselves completely. And I'm like, that's fiction, right? That is
a theory.
Okay.
That is a theory.
And he just blasted his ear off or some shit.
Right. There is a theory that he survived and the church moved him over to South America as well. I mean, but hey, like, look, America is not innocent in this. Down in Alabama, there's an entire city. Everybody's got a German last name. Look into it. I'm just saying. They created most of our NASA stuff. Not the part my grandfather worked for, because he was in DD.
Well, I was surprised at the amount of conspiracies that came with the Catholic Church and the Nazis or Nazis.
I'm not, just because. I mean, if you
I didn't think about it. Yeah.
And then like doing the research for these conspiracies actually put it more in perspective for me historically, that like the Catholic Church has been doing this to the Jewish population for literally ever, because
they took Jerusalem.
Exactly.
I mean,
because I ended up looking a fuck ton into the Inquisition because of this. So like, I'm gonna call the Inquisition a Catholic conspiracy, because it's not a conspiracy theory. Maybe it's my conspiracy theory, but the reason the Inquisition happened was not to make sure people were godly. It was because the Catholic Church said they didn't like Muslims and they didn't like Jews. And in Spain, because I looked in predominantly to the Spanish Inquisition, just because I ended up watching the Pope's last exorcist, or the Pope's exorcist, I'm sorry, on my flight home. Like in the airport, I last minute was like, oh my God, I'm going to download this off Netflix real quick so I can watch it.
I'm so sorry. I haven't broccoli.
No,
I don't know. I hope it doesn't smell like broccoli,
you're good.
because I'm like, I can taste broccoli.
But anyway, so I ended up like going down this Inquisition rabbit hole. I don't. The movie's pretty new, so I don't want to say why. I don't want to spoiler. You know what I mean? Like, because like there's the main theme, or the main exorcism that Father Amorte is doing in the movie. It has like the trail of like, just like the Ed and Lorraine movies, how there's a trail of evil. Ooh, stay tuned. In a couple weeks, maybe next week. I can't remember. Maybe next week. I can't remember, but I'm gonna check real quick, because we're covering Ed and Lorraine too. So it's funny that they get brought up here, because I wasn't planning on doing that. But just like, there's always like a demon in the end, right? So in this, it's like it's a specific demon, and it's tied back to the Spanish Inquisition. And so I ended up going down like a Spanish Inquisition rabbit hole.
Wait, the Spanish Inquisition, that's when they went to Spain and forced all the people to convert to Christianity, yeah? Catholicism?
Well, they didn't. Okay, so that was part of it. So they had previously already forced people. That was where I was going with the conspiracy, but then I brought up Ed and Lorraine, and then I was like, when is that coming out? It is coming out next week, next Tuesday.
I had read a book where they talked about it, and what they did was people. Like I think I read that they used to force natives in that Spanish Mexican Texas.
Okay, yeah.
area.
That's after the original in Europe. But yeah.
Oh, okay. They would put them in cells and only give them salt to eat. And they would refuse to give them water until they converted to Christianity.
That's terrible.
And some of them obviously went mad and dehydrated.
Oh yeah.
And then some of them did convert. And this is just, and that's
Yeah.
not a conspiracy theory.
Right.
That's
But
what
they
Catholics-
conspired to force their religion on other people. And that's where I pull all of this
So
into
were you
this episode.
referencing like
So-
Spanish, like
So
Spain?
in Spain,
Okay.
where it started in the late 1400s.
Okay.
right?
Yes, this was.
This was in the
think,
1500s.
Yes.
So
yes.
late 1500, like 1571 is when
This
they
was
started
after
it in
Spain
Mexico.
was conquered, if you want to use that term, and then the people that were generations in Spain as Catholics came to Mexico.
Well,
Texas.
Spain was Catholic.
I don't fucking know.
Predominantly, yeah.
Okay,
like,
I don't know,
know
truthfully.
either. Like, so Ferdinand and Isabel, who are of Castile and are Aragon,
Okay.
they get married and they join their lands and they rule over what is now the land of Spain.
You know, Spanish Catholics weren't all that nice because you know who else was a Spanish Catholic? Christopher Columbus.
Yeah, I know. They're
Like they were
Isabella's the one that Isabella that I just named, she sent him over.
Oh, to
Yeah,
Christopher Columbus.
yeah.
Oh,
So
God.
I mean, like
Didn't
that's
know it.
this is same Isabella. Okay.
Okay.
So 1478, they start like the Holy Inquisition. It wasn't called the Spanish Inquisition so
Right.
much later. It wasn't even Spain yet, right? But they started this Inquisition because there's a faction of Catholics who have been Catholic for generations.
Mhm.
Then there's the Jewish people and the Muslim people who also exist in this area because it's very close to, you know, other stuff. We're bad at geography. Reference season 1. I'm not telling you what it's near. If you want to look at a map, look at the map. I don't fucking know. Anyway, so they've got all these different kinds of people around because it's the fucking world and there's all these different kinds of people. But the Catholics want to be the only people. So they're like, we fucking hate the Jewish people. We fucking hate the Muslim people. You got to get the fuck out of our land or you have to become Catholic.
Mhm.
But then there was this whole thing with the people who had been Catholic for a long time. They're like, oh, well, that guy just converted to not die. They didn't want to be exiled. So they just converted under false pretenses. They're not real Catholics. And that is what started the Inquisition. It was to make sure there were no heretics and that there were no whatevers, no Jewish people who were still practicing Judaism in private and being Catholic in public so that they didn't get exiled or murdered.
I don't
And the same with the
understand.
Muslim people.
This part doesn't make sense to me though because Jesus was a Jew. So what's so bad about being Jewish? I don't understand. Like, I guess
I truly don't either.
I guess
I'm
you
like,
could
this is where
argue-
I'm like, this is a conspiracy
You
of theirs to take over the world.
well, I guess
Like
you
that's
could-
where I'm going with this because the fucking Inquisition had nothing to do with like, oh, we want to make sure you're a good Catholic. It was the people that were victims in the Inquisition. It was just like the witch trial. I mean, exactly like the witch trials. A person who used to be Jewish but converted to Catholicism is pulled in and questioned. Are you being a good Catholic? You know, we don't think you are. Well, name some other Jews who aren't real Catholics and we won't kill you. It was exactly the same. The Catholic Church just does this over and over again. It singles out a group of people. And then
the
they
same
either,
group of people.
well, not the same group of
like-
people because later they go Protestants and all the non-Catholic kind of Christians, they get involved in the Inquisition too. They get murdered just the same because they're not Catholic. But it's not that. It has nothing to do with religion. It has to do with the fact that all the victims, where did their money go? Do you know where their money went? To the fucking Roman Catholic or to the Catholic Church.
I've had this conversation with my grandmother who is Catholic.
Mhm.
She got so pissed because and I wonder how many people are like her because she can't be the only one.
Mhm, I'm sure not.
Adamantly denied that the Crusades were, kind of fucking
Because-
evil.
Yeah, see, because I
Um,
was going to go even further back to the Crusades after the
Crusades,
Inquisition. But yeah,
they ate children. But granted, you could say that for multiple wars. I
Yeah.
mean, check out fucking Hannibal Lecter and why he became a fucking, you know. But the point is, they were supposed to be holy soldiers and they ate children. And I told her that. She got pissed. I'm gonna call the school. We did not eat children. We kindly told them about our beliefs and they decided to convert. And it sounds delusional because it is.
Yeah.
But she's not the only one. She's
well,
not-
and I guess that's because, okay, if you take a step out of reality,
but seriously.
and put yourself in the shoes of somebody who that shadow over there that's kind of moving to your eye, that's actually the devil seeping into you.
Bitch, I thought you were serious.
No, but I'm saying, like, put yourself in the shoes of these people,
Mhm.
right? So these other guys, they're truly going to hell because you're Catholic and you're white.
Mhm.
So you have to fight them to make them go to heaven because that's your duty as a Catholic.
Or fucking,
I don't believe that. I'm just saying, like, if you put yourself in the shoes of those
Damn
people,
Jehovah's
so that's how you
Witness.
can make yourself believe that we were doing a good thing. That's all I'm saying. I don't agree with that at all. I don't agree with that at all. But I guess that's where that delusion can come from. Exactly. Free Palestine. Yeah. Free Palestine. Love the Jewish people. Do not like what the Yahoo that's netting stupid shit over there. Don't like what he's doing. Love the Jewish people though. Anyway, just putting it out there because again, the Catholics were trying to wipe out the Jewish people. They were trying to wipe out the Muslim people. And they were trying to wipe out anybody that wasn't a Catholic because they went after Protestants. They went after any Christians, like the Lutherans. I mean, Martin Luther was put to death. What? Because he wanted divorce to be legalized or something? Like, I know there's more to it than that. I'm just making
No, there is.
I
LOL because it's like the guy just wanted a fucking break.
right, but seriously, like, you know, but then you go backward from the Inquisition to the Crusades, like you said, and it's the exact same thing. Yeah, it's about the Holy Land, and they even had a special force of knights called the Knights Templar,
which I love.
Yes,
I love them, and I hate that. Okay, so
right,
I did
we're gonna do a whole episode, but we're gonna talk about how this. Yeah,
I'm not gonna get too into it because I actually spent like an hour reading up on them. But everything that I read about them, which was that they were there to protect the Christian tourists coming to visit the Holy Land, right?
Right. Everything, and I think to protect the vested interest of the Catholic Church retaining the Holy Land, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
So everything that I read,
I'm just making sure I understood that I read correctly because I like the cool part. I like the other parts about the Knights Templar versus this.
The Knights
Templar
that's weird. Is so. It makes me sad because I want to believe that knights are good. Everybody wants to believe that knights
I do believe the Knights Templar were good. Like, look, okay.
I do not.
Because one of the...
I'm sorry. Go ahead. You tell me your thing.
Okay. For their time, I believe they thought they were fighting the good fight. Let me say it that way. They thought they were fighting the good fight from the standpoint of they were not only highly disciplined soldiers, they were highly disciplined monks. They were holy men and warriors, the very first of their kind in that regard of the modern middle-aged world. And what I don't agree with all they did, but they did make. We'll go deeper into them in a full episode where we talk more about them. But one of the reasons that the Catholic Church did them so wrong was because of the advancements they were making outside of the Crusades. I'll say that because I want to do more. I want to look up on the stuff that I have read on since I was a kid before we do a full episode. I'm not going to like speak specifically because I'm pretty sure that one of the things that I find highly interesting about the Knights Templar is actually just one of the lies by Philip to undo them.
Excuse me. I truly do not believe the knights were good. I don't think that they. So Miss Maddie, as my husband says, I don't think they were doing what I think they were doing what they were supposed to be doing in probably an awful way. I don't imagine that they were kind to
But
the
was it the
Muslims.
Knights Templar or was it just regular soldiers of the church? Because these are two different factions.
I
Not
think the
every
Knights
soldier.
Templar.
Okay.
I'm
not saying they're great
Give
people.
them
Don't get me wrong. Like they made it like scientific advancements. Like they made advancements outside of church life. It from what I remember from everything I know about them, and my belief is that's why the church was like, because like
this is gonna sound so stupid and fantasy, I guess, but you have this man, okay, and we're gonna make this promise. Okay, we're gonna be whatever the fuck, celibate, poverty. We're gonna do good in the name of God, and then we're gonna give him a sword, and then we're gonna say, "Defend your God." They're not going to do it nicely. They're not going.
Right.
To,
well,
you know
and see, here's the thing: like you and I tend to focus on different things.
I know.
You know, so like the eating babies thing, I legit know nothing about. I am inclined to believe that was regular barbarianistic soldiers versus the actual Knights.
Oh yeah, that
Templar.
was just regular soldiers. That was not like the Knights.
So like I'm like, no. War is hell. Last season we did a whole fucking episode about war on nature, but
right, like
and
how much
it affects
honor
people.
is in a man that you give a sword and you say, okay, kill in the name of your God. Whereas there is no honor.
Well, where's the honor in like that? Then you're taking away from like our veterans. Like it's a fine fucking line.
Because I don't.
This is why I'm like I'm not willing to necessarily go there with my opinion. Other than I think they thought they were fighting the good fight. Sure. They thought they were doing a good thing, and I like to believe that they weren't overly heavy-handed. Like the Knights Templar themselves didn't perform torture like the Catholic Church did on the Knights Templar to get them to confess.
Actually, they ended up getting tortured. Oh, was that what you? That's what you just said. Yeah, like.
Because like they didn't torture. Like I feel like they were the most disciplined of that. But again, like because here's like because like once you get into that, like because I can't find fault with a soldier who's doing what they're supposed to. But then at the same time, like if you're a Nazi, fuck you. I don't care what you were thinking of as a soldier.
Amazing
so I'm biased. I can't. It's too difficult.
It's hard.
It's like this. It's not a straight line. It's a knot. And it's hard to find the
right.
Yeah.
And I saw this quote on a TikTok video, but it made so much sense. It was there was just war, and this guy's like, all of these men that you're going after are just following orders. And the man responds, well, I was at the mercy of men just following orders. And I'm not going to let other people be at the mercy of men just following orders. It's a hard fucking gray.
See, it's a very gray area, but like you like a good vigilante, and I think vigilantes are wrong.
Know.
So
I know.
It's like, because it's like, so it's like there's a because where is that guy not a vigilante who's not one of the ones following orders? He's just an assassin.
Well, it's hard because we also talk about
I'm just conjecturing.
No, like certain wars that
right, because it's like idealistically, like I agree with this, I disagree with this. You know what I mean?
Well, just when people are.
But actually, I rarely agree with war.
It's different than modern war. It's different than modern war. Knights, even the Knights Templar, were not very nice people.
I would counter that nobody back then was very nice people.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna have to agree with that. Actually,
I haven't seen him till I got home, and he just walked away. My cat, guys. I just got home from a
He's
trip
mad
today.
at you. But no, I think I absolutely agree. I think people back then in the Catholic Church, were kind of shitty. Mm-hmm. But
they lived a harder life. Like they lived a harder life.
They had harder truths. Yes.
Yeah. Like
But
they also had they had more black and white. Like again, that shadow over there's not a normal shadow. It's the devil waiting to take advantage of you. You know what I mean?
They were
that was the world
psychotic.
they literally lived
Okay,
in.
that's the best way I would put it. Is they were induced in a psychosis.
You say that, and I go, that was the Catholic Church.
Yeah, exactly. And the whole point. Yes.
because here's the thing, and we'll get more our next episodes on exorcism, so I'm not going to go too in depth on this, but I am going to say that at some point the Catholic Church was like, oh, exorcisms are bad, but you want us to believe in the devil, but you don't want us to believe that the devil can. No, I disagree, and it's because they're not going with what they believe. They're just trying to rule by fear. And when exorcisms got out of hand, now all of a sudden, oh no, the devil's just a mental construct or some bullshit. Like, I do remember them coming out with that.
Yeah, that was recent.
Yeah, it's like evil's not real. It's just like it's a mental
that was
no,
recent.
pick a fucking lane, buddy.
So
but still, like, but that's that whole mentality of controlling people and making the populace psychotic, so they'll do whatever the fucking church says because the church says we'll protect you.
well, the problem with the Catholic Church nowadays is they need to evolve because the world is evolving. So,
Oh my God.
you know what I'm saying? If they want to survive,
The new pope is trying to evolve, and people are hating him
Yeah.
for it. But then again, did you see pictures of the fucking hall that he built, like the new?
no, I would love to.
Yeah,
I was going to mention the next conspiracy being that the Catholic Church has evidence of extraterrestrial life. I could see that. I could see that. I think the government does. So, like, the hall.
The hall. Okay, what the fuck did?
But
New
you
chapel,
know, I
okay.
do believe that the Catholic Church could have
Look at that. What do you see?
a
A snake, right? You
Oh,
see
no.
the jaws of a snake. That's where the Pope built to talk to people from. And everybody's like, why does it look like a snake? Why does it look like a snake coming to eat you?
I am a fucking loser because I thought, oh my God, that looks like a spaceship. Like,
I did also,
I
but
thought
everybody, but like when you look at
You
it does look like a snake
It
with the
does.
tongue and the teeth. And
no,
everything.
it totally does. My first thought was spaceship, but either way, yes, it does.
Okay, well, I'll just put the image on the video because I
But-
learned how to do that kind of spiffy shit.
Do I
Make a
think
note.
that the Catholic Church has evidence of extraterrestrial life? I don't know if they do, but if they did, I definitely don't think that they would reveal it to the people.
Absolutely.
Because-
Also, in
Oh,
that
go
same vein, sorry,
No, it's okay.
I heard that in that same vein,
Mhm.
there's that whole thing where they are making a pact with extraterrestrials to let them test on humans versus it being like, remember, like the JFK conspiracy, you know?
I feel like I watched a show and I don't know what it was. I don't think it was. Ooh, sorry. I
Yeah.
don't think it was. It was an American Horror Story, but it was specifically something where the Catholic Church had evidence of aliens. I don't think it was the Da Vinci Code either. I'll talk about that in a minute.
Please do.
They
'Cause I asked my dad and he was like, oh no, they're good movies. Bitch,
They're
tell
good.
me about
They're
them.
good. Okay, so anyway, they had evidence of the Catholic Church had evidence of aliens, and they purposefully kept that evidence away from humans because if humans knew, that would ruin religion. That would really
Yes,
ruin
I
religion.
have read that.
Is that a book? What is
I
that?
have read that. I don't.
Is it a movie? It would.
Is
If
it a
you are
documentary?
having
Is it a book?
proof
I know what you're talking
of
about. 'Cause
evolution.
yes.
Then it ruins.
Right. Well, and if you have proof of life elsewhere,
Uh-huh.
I could see the church believing that invalidates the existence of God. It
Exactly.
doesn't.
So they would.
But
never
it
want to do
doesn't
that.
because if God created life here,
Where
then
did
God
I see?
created
I
life
swore
elsewhere,
it was a movie or
dumbasses.
something, and it was so.
But no, I
sad.
know exactly what you're talking about. I do.
Yes.
I'm trying to remember, but I know exactly what you're talking about because, like, yeah.
And it was sad. I remember being sad about it because, was it these people that went to space? It wasn't Prometheus. It was like, I don't know, but I remember being sad about it because they were talking about it, and the people that discovered aliens were sad because they're like, oh my God, my entire belief system is not real. There is no God. Evolution is real.
Okay, well, this, I don't think it was actually said, but that whole idea does kind of play out in at least one character
Mhm.
in Alien Prometheus.
Yeah, I'm like, was
Is
it
it
Prometheus?
Prometheus?
It was
Yeah, 'cause
something.
It was Prometheus, and then there's one after it, and then
Was
there's the
it
new
an
one that's
alien
Romulus,
movie?
right?
Yeah. I
Well,
haven't seen
because
Romulus yet.
I think it's Prometheus, or like I can't remember. There's Prometheus and something else, and the new Romulus, which I
Mhm.
really want to see. And Death by DVD did a Patreon
I
episode
have
on
not
it.
seen
So.
it. I want to see it too. I really do.
But anyway, so it's either Prometheus or the other one that's like in that same like new aliens
Mhm.
movies. But one of the guys, because the whole plot is they're going to find our creators, right?
Mhm.
And some of the crew, when they find this out, they're fucking mad because, well, that's stupid. You know, oh, what are you going to do when you find out they created us? Because obviously it doesn't flat out say that they're being offended on a religious level, but you can tell by their reactions.
I'm like,
that
I want to
they're
stay up
basically
late
saying-
and watch Romulus now.
because like they're basically saying like it's a redheaded guy. He really reminds me of the guy from Shaun of the Dead, but not.
Yeah, I
he's
get
like
you.
not the same guy, but he's got very similar, like kind of a pointy nose, same color hair, similar. His head's a little bit longer than
Right.
the Shaun of the Dead guy, but his character is very upset. Like you can tell he's an Irish Catholic who does not like that this woman has just proven we were created by these aliens for the fucking fun of it.
Right.
Because like because there's also in that same vein, in that same movie, there's a discussion of the guy who he's with the woman, right? It's the two of them, their idea that these aliens are our creators, right? So they find out that the aliens are their creators, and Dr. Elizabeth Smart, she's super excited. She's like, yay, we found out. And he's let down because he wanted to ask them all these questions, but they're all dead. So like he can't ask them the questions. And the android guy's like, you know, what would you ask them? And he's like, why did you create us? And so the android guy says to him, because like he's mad, right? And the android's kind of asking him questions. It's David. Walter. Yeah, it's David. I think it's David.
Is
or
this
it's Walter.
Prometheus?
Yeah, it's
Right.
the first of these movies where they go out, like the new modern alien.
I just want to
movies.
look at the actor that
Yeah. But and this is a different guy because this one is the one that's with Dr. Elizabeth Smart. I can't remember his name, but she's more of a main character anyway. So anyway, he's her boyfriend or whatever, and he's mad about them being dead, so he can't ask why they created him. And the android's basically pointing out like they made you just to fuck around, like you guys make us just to fuck around. Because he said, well, why did you guys make my kind? And he's like, to prove that we could. And the android's like, yeah, see, you really want to hear that answer? Because like you're trying to hurt my feelings and I don't have feelings. But you
Right.
did hurt my feelings because, you know, he turns into a psychotic android that kills everybody.
There's also
That movie's
that
old.
movie-
I don't feel bad about spoiling that.
There's that movie Life. I have not seen it. Is it good?
It is
It's
so
with
good.
Ryan Reynolds and Jake
Oh
Gyllenhaal.
my
Okay, yeah, I
God.
really want to see
Oh,
that
that
one.
movie freaks me out.
So is it? It's pretty scary.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh, I want to.
It's not just that it's scary; it's good. It has a good plot.
I'm pretty
like
sure
I don't
I
even give a
did-
shit if scary
I've
movies are
seen
scary.
a clip.
I care about plot line,
Especially
and that
when it comes
movie
to
has a
aliens.
good fucking plot.
So
It has a good cast and it has good acting.
didn't the thing like I
Yes.
haven't seen it's like his
Yeah.
hand or
Mm.
something. Like it's like trapped in there.
It's basically an entity
Uh-huh.
that feeds on people
Right.
or any other life
Well, and they
forms.
lock him in the room, right? And
Well, they don't know that yet. So, like, they have it in like the safe glass, and he's in the suit or whatever.
Mhm.
But then the suit gets a puncture, and like the thing gets out, and it gets in, and then it like latches onto his hand, and he's like, "Ah, you guys, please help me!" And then it crunches his hand,
Oh my god!
and like basically, I think it just starts consuming him. I don't exactly
fucking
remember.
Love
Movie fucking
aliens.
freaks
I
me
love
out.
aliens. I love sci-fi. I love sexy
Oh,
aliens. I
hell
love
yeah.
scary aliens.
Like that movie
I am an
is so
alien
good.
fanatic. I love them. I
I
love
love
them.
that
So
one.
I do want to see that one. But
Like,
I'm probably gonna
I
stay
hate
up
the
late.
Lost in Space movies. Probably like the guys who are stuck out on the space
Did you
station.
see? So you haven't seen Gravity then?
I think I have.
Fuck that movie.
I think I've seen it once. Like movies like that, I'll watch once,
I can't breathe.
and I probably block them out because it's
It's-
like the space version of Open Water, and
Yeah.
no,
Oh my
that's
God, the bitch
even
is
more
just
terrifying.
floating away. Yeah. And
That's
then-
not the only movie like that. Like, because I know there's another one where they. Oh God, I can't because it's like space open water, and that's
to
terrifying.
me, like if they're in a ship, okay. Whew. But like if they're out floating upside down in space and they're just going, I feel like I'm gonna hold my breath.
Maybe
And
they'll be
they're
like,
like-
maybe they'll be like Bender and they'll meet God.
It's
That is
scary.
one of my favorite episodes.
Which brings us back to the Catholic Church. Do I think that they have evidence of aliens? Not necessarily. If they did, I do not think they'd share it with the world. What do you think?
I think they have evidence of aliens because I also believe that they have all these holy relics that they
Uh-huh.
lie about.
Uh-huh.
They also have a bunch of pagan relics that they lie about.
Uh-huh.
They also have in their basement a statue that is reminiscent of Baphomet. It's like a
Mhm.
demonic looking statue
Right.
that they keep in the basement. And I couldn't find a single fucking thing about it when I was doing my research. But I remember, and I even checked with my husband to make sure I'm not crazy. And I meant to ask you, but like, do you remember? It was like 10 to 15 years ago. It was in the news. And it's like, why is this statue like, because they had brought it out and they put it on display
I
from
do
their
not
basement.
remember that.
Yes, it was like a demonic looking kind of statue. I didn't think it was necessarily demonic. It was definitely pagan looking, but most people were Christian or Catholic looking at it. And when I was doing this research, I couldn't find a goddamn thing about that particular statue. I could find things about all sorts of pagan idols that are in the Vatican
I have
on
to
display
say,
because they are representative of the region's religious, journey, so to speak.
I
But they've
love.
also got Egyptian religious idols. So like they have what's okay. So actually, so I forgot about this, but this is one thing I really wanted to bring up is the word Catholic basically means like all religion, all knowing. Like it Catholic means bringing. It's almost like omnism. Oh, that is beautiful.
Is that Jesus?
I don't know. It looks more like
Mm.
depiction of Satan coming out of the flames, but I don't know.
So that was not
that
the
was
one.
not the one.
I love the statue they have of Lucifer, and he's like hot as fuck.
Oh,
And
that one where
they-
he's like human form?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like,
And they commissioned the guy's brother or
because
cousin
he
or
was
somebody.
too
He
hot.
was too hot, so they made an even hotter Lucifer.
Version of Lucifer, but I mean, Lucifer makes sense.
But it's
Lucifer's
like-
supposed to be beautiful.
He is. But here's my theory on like we come to the Catholic conspiracy theory or Catholic Church conspiracies. The word Catholic is supposed to mean like all religion or something in
Mhm.
like Latin or Italian. And they have idols of all different religions in the Vatican. And they wipe out all the other religions to follow their one religion. It's just the name coupled with the actions. It just seems like very, very sinister Illuminati shit.
Mhm. Oh, this is
Yeah.
pretty.
Oh,
Oh no, I'm sorry.
that is
This
pretty.
is Satan depicted as a female. I
Ooh,
actually fucking love
with
that.
the
It's
snake
very,
and the wings. Oh,
very
yes.
vaginal.
Oh yeah.
You know, not as I say often on this show, but it
Mhm.
is. It's
Yes.
very.
Well, a lot of religious iconography is very vaginal
Mhm.
because the original basis of religion was understanding
Uh-huh.
that there is male and female energies that come together from the Sky Father and the Earth Mother to
Mhm.
create life.
Exactly.
And so the imagery was always very vaginal and very phallic.
Mhm.
And
Even
even
to
as
this
far
day.
as we try to get away from it, we
Mhm.
still keep it.
I mean, even to this day, you see
Which
it
could be a
in-
conspiracy in and of itself, I guess.
Well, you see it depicted in ancient cathedrals in
Mhm.
Europe. I mean, all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Mushrooms, phalluses, vaginas, all
Mhm.
of it. But
Yeah.
anyway,
But as far as that whole, like, the Catholic Church has so much control, it almost feels Illuminati-like. That's another conspiracy, right?
yes. The Catholic Church is the Illuminati.
Or that Illuminati plants are put in the Vatican to help further the Illuminati's plans through the doings of the Catholic Church.
I think that the Catholic Church and the Illuminati are definitely connected. I don't necessarily think the Catholic Church is the Illuminati. They may be a part of, but are they the whole thing? I don't think
Okay, so I don't think they're the whole thing, but I do think that, like, there is core Illuminati-ness.
Mhm.
Yeah, Illuminati-ness. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I think there's core Illuminati-ness within the Vatican and
Mhm.
always has been. Like maybe there is a separate thing where more Illuminati-ness happens. But the Illuminati that exists within the Vatican, not everybody who works for the Vatican necessarily knows about, right?
Mhm.
Because that's where the conspiracy part comes in. But they definitely are welcome there by the Catholic Church because the Catholic Church has always been a part of that whole New World Order bullshit. That's my thought. That's my thought. Like,
No,
I don't think the
totally-
Pope is the head of the Illuminati.
Mhm.
I don't even necessarily think that every Pope knows that the Catholic Church is involved with the Illuminati. But I do think that the doings of the Catholic Church are 1,000,000% connected with and help with the ultimate goals of the Illuminati.
Oh, while we're talking about the Illuminati and all that, I'm going to mention the Da Vinci Code, which is
Please.
actually really highly
Fucking, I
recommend.
will not.
Okay.
I don't know why. I will not watch it. In my head, it's a ripoff of Indiana Jones.
Well, so the
third movie. So.
The Catholic Church has evidence that Jesus Christ was not only real, but that he was married to none other than Mary Magdalene, who he had a child with.
And that's what the
Mhm.
chalice, the womb.
Yeah, exactly the
thing.
yeah,
I
the
can't
Holy
remember-
Grail.
The Holy Grail. Thank
The
you.
Holy Grail.
I was like, what's
Yes.
the word?
Yes, Mary Magdalene herself was the Holy Grail. If he was something else, I can't remember. But it's all anyway. They had a child, and there is a descendant of Jesus Christ here now
Mhm.
that they are keeping a secret for some reason. Oh, it's so good. It was really
Well,
good.
Let's just say, for argument's sake, Mary Magdalene and Jesus really did have a child.
Mhm.
That child's life was in danger the
They
whole
couldn't
life.
tell. Yeah.
Yeah, you could never be like, oh yeah, that guy we killed because he said he was the son of God. Yeah, this is his kid. Yeah, that
Right.
kid would get murdered.
Well, and I
right?
love-
And so, like, for at least the first 5 generations, that kid
Mhm.
would have gotten murdered as they,
Mhm.
So I could see that the line would be protected.
right.
I forgot. I did know
By
that
the
that's-
Knights Templar. Well, but like it's just it's really good. Like
okay, yeah. But that makes sense. That makes sense.
It does, and I love
I don't
the
agree with
concept of Mary Magdalene being the Holy Grail because it is like you said, it's a cup, it's a chalice, it's the womb, and then you have the masculine energy and the feminine energy.
You've got the Sky Father and the Earth Mother
exactly.
together
Oh, it's
furthering
good.
life.
It's
right?
also
I can see why today you'd still have to protect that kid because people be fucking nuts.
Yes.
And I did do that hand motion for a reason because somebody would
absolutely.
Take that
It's
person
really good, but
away.
they kept it a secret from even her. I'm pretty sure because they didn't want her to know. Like it was just it's so good.
Well, I mean, yeah, I could see maybe it's because I like Michael Myers movies, but I could totally see that whole like she gives birth and it's like, oh, the baby died, and then you whisk him away to a special cult,
right?
Mhm. But and then I've mentioned it before on the show, but I must say it in more than just passing to Maddie to be funny. But the ultimate Catholic conspiracy is that their church was founded on a mushroom cult. Jesus wasn't real. He's an allegory for the magic mushroom, and the entire Bible is an allegory for finding God through being here. I don't know. That is like, I'm sorry, but like
that is
the Catholic Church. Well, it is not just my belief. It is a lot of people's beliefs. It is a theory that was researched by somebody who this is their entire fucking life. He wrote a book about it. He took everything back to cuneiform, the very original written and spoken languages, to put all of the different religious stories together to show how all of this stuff just boils down to the same stuff in cuneiform, which is talking about the magic mushroom and how it gives us life and a connection to God and all this, right? But when that book was written, the Catholic Church bought every single copy. And up until it was so easy to buy things, the Catholic Church continued to buy every printing of that book until
It
recent
sounds like
history.
a cult to me.
They are. Christians are a cult.
No, I'm
Catholics
talking
are a
about
cult. They
the
are
mushroom.
based off of a mushroom cult. It is absolutely a cult. It's a mushroom cult, and that's what
And I
these
don't
religions are
subscribe to
based
the
on.
beliefs of a cult.
That is what Christianity is.
I'm
It
not
is a cult.
Christian.
Catholicism is a cult, and they are based off of a previous cult, and that is the ultimate conspiracy. I'm sorry, I just thought that was a cute way to wrap it up because I think we've gone through all of them.
We have
haven't we?
gone through a
That
lot
all
of
of
them.
I guess there are some more.
There
'cause
are,
there's-
but we could do a part two. I mean,
We
shit,
could.
we've been
There's
going
like-
for a while. This is a great
Yeah,
opening.
Yeah, no, I mean, because maybe there's other stuff because I know there's the 3 Secrets of Fatima and some other things that I
Mhm.
personally didn't cover.
Well, I
but,
really wanted to cover the
yeah.
it's not like a conspiracy theory, but in
Okay,
Catholicism.
so we don't have to end yet.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
we're
No.
good,
I
we're
mean,
good.
I
just
want
thought
to
it was a
cover it
cute way to-
at a later date.
Oh,
okay. But the 3 Marys in the Bible and in
yeah.
Catholicism, gotta cover that one. You gotta cover the Knights Templar. I think you said you wanted to do a whole episode on that. So there's a couple ones we need to cover, but I definitely want to do the 3 Marys because they're so
yeah.
important.
So since the 3 Marys in and of itself, I think is just an episode
Right.
versus a Catholic Church conspiracy because
Right.
we all know that the church just took what pagans already had going on
Mhm.
to create their religion.
Right.
So that's so that I think is a standalone episode. So I'll just mention the 3 Secrets of Fatima. These 3 kids back in the 1940s, I think they each found religious relic, I guess is the best way to put it. And in those findings, 2 of them were reported to the public, and the 3rd kid's finding was never reported to the public. And it's
That's
thought
interesting.
there's a bunch of conspiracies as to why. Is it a lot of people think it's a prophecy of
Mhm.
when the apocalypse is coming, and so the church doesn't want people to know because then they'd be freaked out. Y2K, if you know, you know.
We're still here.
Yeah. I was partying hardy that night because I
love the King of the Hill episode.
It's funny, but yeah, my friends and I were like, it's the end of the world. And then midnight happened and we all thought it was just gonna out. And then it was 12:01 and we just kept partying. And we're like, well, we're already here.
Right. All
Yeah.
right. Well, I think we already gave a shout out to our patrons.
Yes, we did. So if you are watching and you know of some other conspiracies that are associated with the Catholic Church / the Vatican, let us know in the comments wherever you're listening, because if we do enough, we'd have to get enough things together to do a second conspiracy. So let us know, in the comments. And while you're there, don't forget to like and subscribe, whether you're on YouTube, Spotify, Good Pods, or any other listening platform.
You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Threads at Witches Talking Tarot.
And you can find us on the X at Classiest Witches, because we are the classiest witches you know.
Thanks for sitting with us for a spell.
Bye. Happy season 4. Happy season 4.
Right.
Oh, I didn't hit that.
I'm Maddie.
I'm Amber. And we're Witches Talking Tarot.
We are the weird optimistic.
I get soft like a sailor's snubble. Flip the switch and let the cauldron bubble. Sam.
Wow.